It's DickeyTime.
What up, everybody? Welcome to DickeyTime. It's your captain of the decrepit ship, Lord Slug, and I'm here with my man, Camo Jebby.
Yes.
I can hardly see him because he's covered in camo.
Don't look at me.
It's hard to. I can't even tell if I'm looking at you.
All right, Abby. How was your week so far? We had a pretty
Well, I didn't drown.
yeah, but no drowning this week, thank God.
Sorry, Jablinski Games. No drowning videos this week.
It started raining outside and I got nervous.
I got
That's how scared I am of drowning recently.
Any amount of water sends me into a frenzy.
We were watching the Truman Show while we were tracking.
That was so. I forgot how sick that movie is.
Yeah, it had me at a couple moments. There were a couple moments where I was just like, Jesus Christ, these people really just brainwashed Truman into
Right.
having a fear. Pretty weird.
It's awesome.
Whoa,
It's
yeah.
like, what a sick allegory, honestly, about like either parental ownership or governmental ownership, even of people. You know, like just fabricating somebody's existence from birth, because if they don't know any different, it's not that weird to them until it comes to a head where it's like, wait a second, I want more than this. This is bullshit. I feel like this isn't what I'm destined for, is to just only do these five menial things, you know? And that's a great allegory on the human experience.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think for America, it's pretty common for after 3 years, you just quit your job and go find another one because, what do you know? I'm complacent once again in this life.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll go work at Big Five or something.
Or
be a
Big Five.
Shout out Big Five, yeah.
Shout out Big Lots and Big
This
Five.
is an ad for Big Five. Yeah, I think that's how you get
Ladies.
really old dudes, like creepy, sketchy dudes, like 32 years old, just still piece of shitting it up, running a zoomies,
Fuck.
hitting on like 15-year-old girls or something.
Hey, you want to help building your custom skateboard?
Hey, I shaved my lip hair today. Do you want to talk to me maybe?
Yeah, that's right. I don't skate.
Yeah.
I work here.
I have some injuries though. I've definitely put my time in.
Like, don't get me wrong. My buddies are pretty good. But I film them.
Yo, how do you feel about Trapt being in the new Tony Hawk Pro Skater?
It makes sense. I'm not too upset about it.
I literally could really not care because I'm not gonna add to the whole fucking meme that Trapt is. It's like
Right. The more we feed into it, the better. The more that's like the whole point of him doubling down on the meme hood of it, is that the more pissed off people get, the more they'll talk about it, and the longer the meme will last, and the more relevant and trending his band name is.
Yeah.
Like, clearly he doesn't give a. I don't know. He seemed like he took it personal, but I think it was a ploy for the most part to just be like, I mean, as long as you guys are gonna keep talking about me, I'll keep fucking stretching this out.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, and in that sense, I totally felt like all my friends that were just trying to cash in essentially on just the call out via Twitter.
Especially like days after, when it like the meme was like, when it got past the organic first couple days phase, you know, where there was like the core 10 that were involved, and then the preceding days, like everyone finally caught wind of it and started trying to tweet from their band page like, hey, yeah, we also, I heard Trapt is giving out clout. You mind if we get on?
Oh, yeah. What better way to be a famous rock star than just knowing that Trapt, the supposed thing that you despise, was the reason for your existence in this music scene?
Well, this is so
That's
funny.
how you got your first record deal,
like
was
make-
through that.
It's funny to make a stance
What a fucking
against
joke.
like what he's doing to get clout, and then in the same instance be like, well, but like me though. It's just such a funny stance to take.
Yeah.
Like, isn't this cringy that he does this? But also, like, please be sure to follow us.
Yeah. It just be a cool fucking artist, guys. That's all you
make
really
sick
have
music,
to do. Yeah.
Just put your art out there. Be genuine and honest with your artistry, and people will flock to it. Because people like genuine shit.
I guarantee you. I fucking guarantee you.
He's guaranteeing.
This is a 100%
He's
money
calling
back.
you out, motherfuckers.
If you fucking keep doing this, just clout chasing like bullshit.
I don't have a problem.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm just like I'm ranting at this point.
What's up?
I've been there. You know, I think we're all guilty of it in some form or
Dude, I've been
another
on
way
Clout
in
9.
life. Yeah, you know, you're just trying to, you know, life is a game essentially for some of us.
When you're in your very early 20s, like that's just such an accepted attitude. I feel like you're starting to butt into the field that you care a lot about, and you start to realize that shit's a little like cutthroat here. I'm just gonna have to learn how to play this game by your weird rules. And then you get even older, and if you either go one of two ways, where you just complicitly go along with it and start benefiting from the fucked up system, or you try to stand outside of it and just make fucking art and hope that that's enough for people to support you without big, fingers in it with labels and stuff that just like, because labels at the end of the day aren't to help bands; they're to make money. They're businesses.
They're making money off of you.
Yeah, they're like, hey, this band is killing it. Yeah. We could give you tours because you probably don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
And in exchange, we own you.
Yeah.
And then we're all taught that this is like what we're supposed to chase after.
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh wait, there's a bunch of bands that have killed it and are killing it independently now more than ever with the internet existing. Like, dude, Protest the Hero is a great band of like, fuck everything, just do your own shit, because they have like a Patreon almost where they release their music before it's out as like the demos as they're making it for their fans and stuff. And then they'll do certain albums that only get released for Patreon people, or like they do like a monthly song for them and stuff through the band, like specific content catered to their fan base. And it's awesome. It's very cool to see. Like, that's such a great way to do that.
I love that. Yeah. I very much so, if I had it my way, and I think, I really fucking would like to see it go this way. I would just love to, through playing music, through being passionate about what I'm really into, I would love nothing more than to develop a business around my homies,
Right, that'd be fucking awesome.
Exactly. Like, I have a friend that, he's in the design industry, or, this homie, he makes merch. Mm-hmm. He has those hookups. So definitely. I pay him, and,
Yeah, you got a homie for each thing, and then you just keep it locally, and then you all just collect that bag together.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty soon, we're just a mafia, We're just running a certain sector of the city because we've got enough friends.
Damn. The mob.
Yeah.
I mean, you're okay. Hypothetical. You're in a pinch. There's a local gang that's trying to threaten and run you out of town, and you got a family to take care of. The mob offers their help. Do you take it, or you just move?
Wait, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to say that again.
Are you gonna take the mob's help if they offer it to you to help, like, protect you and your family from a local gang?
Local gang?
You're gonna take the mafia? You're gonna take their help and be indebted to them, or are you just gonna move out of this city?
That really depends.
Like, all your funds are in this local business.
Like, if it's my life, I'm definitely like, yeah, you can take my pinky, because like my pinky is worth less than my life. But
like, that's what you think that they would ask. Like,
well, I mean,
we're gonna do a favor. Give us your pinky.
Yeah.
Like, when they ask payment, it's like a Tooth Fairy scenario. I'll do something for you, but I need a body part. Bring it to me. No, more so like they'll always have that. Hey, we need you to do this thing. Like, we'll help you, but we're gonna start selling and cutting coke out of the back of your grocery store. They're like, oh fuck, all right.
God damn it!
I guess
Not
you
again.
have to.
Yeah, for real.
Because I do owe you my life.
So right now we're listening to Cattle Decap,
Death Atlas album.
Yeah,
came out late last year, or actually, I think it actually came out early last year. Early 2019, which is surprising.
It kind of flew over my head, actually. I was pretty surprised. You brought them up to me. Was it just yesterday? We had a short conversation about how fucking sick this band was.
For real.
I remember being on tour in San Diego, and we were bumping them the whole way to the venue. And just thinking like, wow, yeah, this is like where death metal needed to go.
Oh, 100%.
When all these uptight death metal guys, elitist homies just talking a bunch of shit. Elitist homies.
Yeah, it's that perfect crossover of the world of like deathcore to death metal and death metal to deathcore kind of, because it's not like it's not very deathcore, but it has that grindy like feel that deathcore tries to have sometimes, those like blackened elements, but it grooves and thrashes like death metal and vocally is driven by that. I think it's a really cool contrast, honestly.
Yeah, and it's a fucking 14-song record too.
Yeah,
you just don't see
that
anymore.
Musicianship, they're just always writing, I bet.
Yeah, people fucking listen to them still. 130,000 listeners a month.
Nice.
Yeah, they're making checks off of that for sure. I bet they get pretty good YouTube revenue too.
Yeah, they were killing it with the touring too before the obvious happened.
How is are they pretty heavy into music videos or? Yeah,
they actually put one out for Bring Back the Plague, and they use the current pandemic as like, oh, this is what a perfect time. Like this song's basically about how people are shitty and awful, and we should bring back the plague to kill humanity because we're such a bad like plague on this earth.
Wild. Very interesting to see how very dismal doom like songs that may not even be like the artist's most recent artwork, but it's interesting to see how I was just going down a rabbit hole with the Acacia Strain. Their fans are totally eating up the end of the world songs more than ever. Right. Those are the most popular songs.
Oh, now I get it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's just, I figured out that I have to die at the end of all this, and I'm totally fucking pissed.
I've been pretty distracted my whole life, and I just remembered I die at the end of this.
I hope it doesn't hurt.
I hope it's seamless.
Yeah. Oh, man, we're going down a death metal rabbit hole right now. Oh, man.
Yeah, Travis Ryan, what an innovator vocally. He's got the coolest little Smeagol singing. I love when he does those little goblin harmonies and shit.
Oh, yeah. I always considered I always thought of his vocals as like a weird... imagine like almost screaming, trying to do like Iron Maiden vocals or something like that. Almost screaming.
Okay.
But
like tunneling like a Bruce Dickinson.
Yeah, it's like Bruce Dickinson, but with just a little more
gusto.
Yeah. He's like happy to be there.
I'm excited. Thanks for inviting me, guys.
Yeah. Flesh God Apocalypse. Did you ever get into them?
Somewhat, not really.
I had a cousin that was really, really into them.
Like they definitely have some tracks that I am okay with, but it's definitely not a band that I go to my way to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Origin's sick though. That's a cool band.
Origin?
Mm-hmm. Or Obscura.
Oh, Obscura, yeah.
That's a great one.
I remember you showing me them
very cool band.
A couple years ago.
Look outside, Justin, they're here. I invited the band over for this moment.
All right. Need to know.
Okay.
Do we stand blast beats?
It depends for me. I'm definitely I'm a tasteful blast beat kind of enthusiast. Like just because there's blast beats doesn't mean it's cool, but like early The Cleansing, Suicide Silence, too many blast beats.
Definitely.
Too many blast beats.
But what would that record be without those blast beats?
It would be better.
Damn.
It'd be less annoying.
It would just be...
It'd be sick fucking riffs without distracting the whole time.
I don't know. I really liked The Cleansing for what it was.
I mean, I like The Cleansing a lot too, but I just think it had too many blast beats.
Yeah.
I think there's great songs on there, but like most of the ones that weren't the title tracks are just full of blast beats.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they can be sick. Like, who was that band we listened to the other day that was like, oh, this is a sick set? Oh, it was King.
King, yeah.
Yeah, King X.
We were bumping them pretty hard yesterday.
Their 2017 album, yeah. They put out a record in 2017. It's self-titled, and it is one of the best pieces of deathcore.
Bangers on bangers.
Just every song's a fucking unique-ass banger, and nobody fucking talked about this album. It just went completely under the radar, and deserves more recognition. Go listen to it!
A little more recognition, please. That's all we ask.
Don't listen to their new album. I didn't like it. Just don't.
No, I'm actually going to throw it back to when I must have been like...
When I was pregnant.
Must have been like 16, 17.
Okay.
Shadow of the Colossus. Remember that band?
The game?
Dude, every time you type it in on YouTube, then it's like one of the only places besides like Facebook or Bandcamp that you can find it. But
Damn,
Shadow of the Colossus. My God. So it was one of the members of the Acacia Strain, I believe. It was actually involved with that project.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what happened?
It ended up being one of those things, I think Asking Alexandria was at the top of their game, right? People were just not into deathcore like that.
There was like a dry spell of deathcore for sure. It just recently started blowing back up again. Not even blowing up, but like getting more traction. It definitely needed a break. There was a big... I mean, metalcore is still going through that. Like, metalcore's had the longest stint of just oversaturation.
Oh, yeah, man.
Like, it has not stopped. I've been waiting for that to die out, and it just keeps evolving to where instead, because metalcore is such a blanket term, anytime a new style or sound comes out, it's just like, okay, how can metalcore take this influence and add it to metalcore?
Yeah.
Blackened metalcore?
Blackened metalcore? Oh, dude, okay. So I'm going to play... my favorite song by them was The Groove. This song...
It's just called The Groove.
Dude, for 2010, what a time. What a time to be alive and love deathcore. 2010?
Dude,
no.
2006 to 2010.
Take that Black Dahlia Murder shirt off.
It's too colorful.
We're wearing Attack right now.
My man.
My lunch table is wearing a Day to Remember merch right now, bitch.
If your shirt does not have a big lyric one-liner on it, don't sit at my table. If your shirt doesn't say in all caps, get on your knees.
Get on your knees.
I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, I remember finding this band on like a top 10 heaviest breakdowns.
I love those, man.
That's
how you find some good. There's too many bands that exist. You need some good people out there like that. That just, you know what? I just put 10 breakdowns together I really like.
Absolutely.
Just bands you've never heard of. Fuck people that do the most known bands though. Those are the worst. Like 10 sick breakdowns and it's like Escape the Fate and you're like, what the fuck? The guillotine. You're just like, what's going on?
Yeah, if you're gonna throw like the Devil Wears Prada in like the top 10 heaviest breakdowns of the year, just make sure it's like at least assistant to the regional manager or something.
It's always Goats on a Boat.
Yeah, okay. To be fair, the organ on Goats on a Boat.
No, I mean that song's sick. I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna do a top 10 list, I don't know, give me something I haven't heard.
For real.
I guess that defeats the purpose of top 10. Maybe just a 10 list.
A band that America has forgotten about, but everywhere else in the world still has not. Breakdown of Sanity. I remember...
Yeah. That's one of those Australian bands that I just never really got the hype.
They're Australian or Sweden?
I think they're Australian. They might be not Australian. That was a weird way to say that. They might not be Australian. Yeah. They might be not. I actually think you're right because I vaguely remember confidently thinking they're Australian my whole life and then somebody being like, no, they're this. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I remember loving...
that first record?
Perception, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was a really sick album.
Yeah. Fucking great. It had that specific mix to it also. I don't know. I just remember...
Sharks in your mouth kind of sound.
I'm thinking of another band that had like a really similar name, but the production was really like high-end but natural sounding. It didn't sound overproduced like...
Make Them Suffer?
It didn't sound like a Sturgis record, It had... just some natural elements to it.
Huh.
I don't know. It sounded like they used like an actual mixer. Not all.
Called out.
Fuck.
Bloby Blurbus has been called out. Goji Berry George.
Oh, I think it was Dream on Dreamer.
Yeah, that was a sick metalcore band.
I think that's the band that I'm thinking of, actually.
That record, the EP on the Moon or whatever.
Oh, yep. That
album is so sick.
Yep, that's the one that I bought on iTunes, bitch.
Yeah.
I spent fucking $4.
The band is so good. I wonder if it still holds up. I remember loving that band. Do you ever listen to Yashin?
Yashin? No.
Yeah. Dude, you should definitely pull them up after you do this.
Whoa, Dream on Dreamer is still putting music out?
Yeah, I think they got back together a couple years ago. They took a big hiatus.
I don't know about that. Yeah. Let's be fair. You're gonna leave the band, call it quits for a little bit. Just get back together like 4 years later when your band's kind of just done. The memory's just really great, but everyone just kind of assumed you're doing better things now. Just start a different band, like on the real.
But then you have to start over from ground zero, and that's where everybody's struggle is that you already have a little bit of notoriety with your old band.
That's why you just gotta be an interesting fucking person.
That's fair. That's a good point. Just have people follow you outside of that.
Oh, it was
Hope, yeah.
Hope, yeah. Also
Hope
a record
EP,
from 2010. We're just channeling age 16 and 17
right now.
Yeah.
What was the band I just said a second ago?
I wasn't listening. Sorry. I swear to God.
I think it was another Australian band.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about Australia. The Gallows.
I cannot remember what I was talking about.
This song's sick, though. Yep.
If you want to. They were the kings of that. Say, if you want to.
Yep.
I'll tell you to say.
Hardcore fan. It kind of makes me think of
Confide.
This Romantic Tragedy. Do you ever get into that kind of screamo?
Not really.
Man.
It definitely gives me Confide vibes, though.
Oh, yeah. Dream on Dreamer definitely gives you those Warped Tour Confide.
For sure, yeah. That Joel Piper type of flow.
Yeah, definitely not as good of a singer as Joel Piper.
Nah, Joel. He's
But-
solid, though.
Yeah, I mean,
But you can just tell he's a softer singer.
For
Like,
real.
Joel Piper just had that voice. And Joel Piper did all of Via, too, for Volumes, right? He did all the singing on that.
oh, he did?
Yeah.
I had no idea. Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive that's Joel Piper.
I always just thought it was Michael at the time.
No. Yeah, neither of the dudes sing in that one. They just do the screamies.
Yeah, imagine if Yogi did sing.
Bitch, I am Yogi. Bitch, I am Yogi. I'm sure he tried.
Oh, yeah.
That seems like a situation where he's like,
sounds
guys,
like
why don't I just do both vocals? And they're like, Gus, come on. You're
no,
gonna do
no.
both? And he's like, you're right.
I know how this scenario is working out because I feel like
He's
I've
the
been
Ringo
there.
of the band.
I've been there in a band before where it's just like the clean singer is trying and it's just not working out, and you're just like grinding your teeth like, there's literally no way he's going to get this today. But like, you're not about to say anything. You're not
Right.
about to be like, hey, let's just, call it, because you're about to watch your friend
Crumble.
exactly. They're going to break down.
You're gonna break his reality that he's not a good singer.
Yeah, I'm not about to tell him.
about to break Gus's little heart.
Yeah. They're not going to break his little heart. Exactly.
And then they did, and they kicked him out.
Absolutely.
I like to make the move to like kick out one of the last remaining original members, and then just put out the most okay follow-up single. Just make such a bold move, and then put out another just volume song. Did you ever hear that fucking Drake cover they did for one of the Punk Goes Pop records?
Dream on Dreamer did?
No, Volumes.
Volume. Oh, God. Oh, I think I did.
It's so lackluster. That was like the start of their downfall, was that fucking cover. You could really just tell they stopped caring. Or whoever was writing, probably Diego, stopped really, or he was probably so focused on his actual like musical endeavors of like, mixing and shit for real movie scores.
Yeah. They actually just recently put something out. Have you heard any of it?
I heard the 2 songs they put out when they announced Michael was back. Oh, they only have the 2.
No, it might be these 2. I don't think I have heard these. I know that they
aggressively
literally
okay.
just recently, I think yesterday, put something out.
Oh, maybe I haven't heard that one then.
I think it might be this one.
Maybe I just heard the first song twice and I just forgot it both times, so I thought it was 2 songs.
Wow, love the snare. Not gonna lie. I wonder who's mixing their shit now.
I don't know.
Michael's sounding better than ever, though. I have to say.
It's really nice to hear volumes without Gus's fucking voice on it. It's been something I've been waiting for.
For real.
It just took so long.
Didn't homie do a rap project for a little bit? And he was actually like kind of doing a little well, right?
He's kind of a rich kid.
Oh, rich kid. Oh, yeah.
So he kind of just can do what he wants.
I forget
and that's
that-
more so what that was.
I forget that is like 50% of the time like a possibility when any band comes from California now.
Right.
It's like, might be a rich baby.
Like a little trust fund kid. Yeah, I saw Fat Nick and Shakewell, and he opened for them. And it was not good.
Oh, he did?
And
Wow.
nobody was not a single person there knew the words or was there for him. Like he definitely just bought his way onto the tour. And like homie like drives like a Lambo or some shit. Like he's like got like rich ass family. Like he's what Diego's his brother, wasn't he? Or yeah, I'm pretty sure that's his brother. And their dad is like a big time movie producer for like scores of movies. Like he's a music producer for movies.
So I believe it was Yogi and Diego were brothers.
Yeah, that's what I believe. Yeah. And so yeah, they come from a very wealthy background, and I think that's why he was just like, I'm just gonna try rap.
Yeah.
And because if you check out his views, it does not reflect him going on a tour like that. It's definitely something he was just like, I can just afford to do this. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, it's wild, man. Yeah. Absolutely wild.
Pretty nutty. I wonder if he's still like putting shit out. If he's like doubled down on it now that because he started doing that when like towards the end of him being in Volumes. He was still in it. Yeah. When he started the Bitch Me Be Yogi.
I tell you what, honestly, I'm super happy that our band does not exist in California. I don't even want to imagine how drastically different of a person I'd be if I just grew up in California, you know?
I think about that a lot, about how different you'd be if you grew up in a different like state or city.
Oh, yeah.
Just like your environment completely changes who you are. And just like I wonder if you'd ever get to the same state, not like physically, but like an emotional state.
Yeah.
If given that you grew up in that type of cutthroat environment.
Just imagine you just stop growing spiritually at the age of 18.
It sounds terrifying.
Because you're just hooked on fucking pills and coke.
That's just the way you play the game, dude.
Yeah.
You want to be a celebrity?
When we were on tour in Coos Bay, I remember having a weird polarizing moment because Aberdeen was a bunch of just alcoholics, and Coos Bay was just a bunch of weed heads.
Right.
They were doing as much weed as we were doing as much alcohol. And I just remember being kind of drunk, having a conversation with them, just completely blitzed. And they were just like, man, we don't really drink like you guys do. Do you guys want to like smoke weed? And we'd just be like, well, we don't really like smoke weed. So like,
you guys want a shotgun of beer?
Yeah.
Let's just go back and forth like, our cultures aren't really aligning very well.
Well, they were, which was the weird thing. But like,
just that one aspect.
Yeah, it was just like we just used different drugs.
Right. Like it hadn't caught up to one or the other yet.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm really, really digging this new Volumes, actually. I really kind of thought for a second I was gonna be saying goodbye to their sound, you know?
I mean, I don't know if it's like the best thing, but it's miles better in comparison to that last shitty EP they put out.
Oh, for sure, yeah. For hearing like 2 singles,
yeah,
I'm pretty about it.
This one I like more than Holy Water. I didn't really care personally for Holy Water. This is a lot better. Which one's this? Pixels or Pixelate is what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pixelate's just kind of slaps.
A bit
Still don't know how I
slappy.
feel about the other one. Not super about it.
Yo, I'm gonna play you.
Play me.
I will. At Sorry. And you're gonna be sorry, mister.
Fuck.
Yo, I was playing this band for you the other day, but I feel it's appropriate now that we have headphones on.
Broadmoor.
Yeah, Broadmoor.
Is it
this
Broad?
This is the continuation of where Florida's down-tempo scene has gone.
Yeah, I remember hearing. Is this one's from my fucking boys or whatever?
Yeah. So
my homeboys.
Right now, everyone, if you want to listen in with us, we're listening to Old Boy by Broadmoor.
Yeah, Broadmoor. Sick new band. Definitely check these guys out.
Yeah.
Is this an album that they just put out?
It's
in January this year.
It's a 5-song EP, and I gotta say, yeah, I'm about it 100%.
Thick fat boy riffs. This is XL boy type music. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah.
This is for my fucking homeboys.
It's just one of those bands that the whole time you're listening to it, you're just fantasizing being in that room, you know?
Right.
Yeah, it's a very high energy.
All the matching jerseys punching the fuck out of people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. For real.
Damn.
I gotta say... I
love this dude's voice.
Yeah, doesn't it sound kind of like
Winston?
Remember Taker?
Taker.
We had a local band. That was James's. He was
okay. James Sherman. Yeah. He's got Sherman vibes for sure.
For real, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Damn, yeah, now that you say that, for sure. If you guys are familiar with Brotherhood 3 and 4, Jared Dines' little Brotherhood thing, little tiny mini Brotherhood things, James Sherman, he's the dude with the Destroyer or Break Everything hat. This vocalist definitely sounds like him. That's for sure. He was the vocalist of Vessels for a second, wasn't he?
I think he was playing bass for Vessels or something like that.
He played the bass in every band, locally.
But on the real, who hasn't played bass for Vessels?
I've played bass for Vessels.
Oh, man.
I'm just going to start telling people I was in Vessels. Every time they ask me what instrument, I'll say a different one.
Yeah. It would be the one time that it would actually be okay to have a shirt that said, I was once in Vessels. Because anyone else rocking that shit at the merch table, it's just, it's not really that funny.
Fair.
Oh, damn. I'm a bit of a sucker for call-outs to a nasty two-step.
Yeah, saying you... What does it say? You fucking coward, and then they start two-stepping?
Yeah.
Hard.
Simply hard.
Simp hard.
Also, I would like to point in the direction of Prison once more. They just put out a live record that just completely fucking destroyed my face.
Decimates.
Yeah, no, their live mix, so impressive. I'm not sure who did the live mix.
I hope it's Chris.
Yeah, I would love to see that because Chris would do a fucking record like this.
Oh yeah,
a live
he loves
record.
Prison.
Yeah,
that's just a funny statement. He loves Prison. He can't wait to go back.
Chris loves Prison. Oh, God.
He just got out, but he can't fucking wait to go back.
Get your life in order, son. You're a mess.
Karma bows to no man.
Yeah. Also, while I'm doing my little shout outs for the week here, everyone, I also want to shine some light on a band that I recently discovered, Second Death. Also
sick.
I mean, I think we kind of established the vocalist little underwhelming, but the band, they themselves, they just bring. There's just I don't know.
There's some.
It's
beef.
it's very Fat Boy riffs. You know, there's some swang to it.
Yeah, it's like thick vein.
Thick vein, yeah. The one vein.
Urethra. This is urethra.
Yeah. Man.
One thick vein.
Oh, yeah. I'm about those, like, slow sway.
Yeah, that's that thick boy riff for sure.
Yeah.
It's where just meaty dudes start two-stepping into each other.
There was a point when I was really young that I called breakdowns. I called them slow headbanging parts because I wasn't. I was so I living in Aberdeen. We just didn't have the internet.
I feel that.
So like I felt it
didn't get there yet. It didn't get there until 2010.
I was just like, what do I do at shows? Well, this is like the part typically where everyone grabs each other's shoulders and we just kind of like slowly headbang.
Oh
to
yeah,
a riff.
classic.
So it's obviously called a slow headbang part, right? No,
I love
bitch.
that.
It's called a breakdown.
That's so innocent.
Okay, well.
Yeah, I remember being young, like finding out about this music and seeing comments fighting, no, this is a beatdown. Breakdowns are this. And I'm like, what?
This is a beatdown.
Okay, I thought a beatdown was like a genre. Beatdown's a part? That's crazy. Okay, what's this then?
Yeah.
Like, no, it's different. A two-step? Okay, like, isn't that for, like, country music? I'm confused.
I think Drowning, that hardcore band out of...
We cannot stop talking about Drowning.
Yeah, full circle, everyone. No, but the hardcore band from Chicago, Drowning, I think they...
I hate that that's ruined for me. Drowning's ruined for me.
I know, yeah. Anyways, the reason I bring them up is I think they kind of were responsible for Downbeat kind of having an image of its own at a certain point. Yeah, because they were very much so like CYC crew.
I don't know if you could say that anymore.
Yeah, so this is a gang. You can find them here on Facebook.org.
Also, the second C in CYC stands for crew. So you just call them a crew.
Don't join gangs because gangs are bad.
And also, you might accidentally say the wrong gang name, and then that's silly.
You might get your little pussy beat. For real.
You said that like somebody threatened you to make a threat.
Yeah.
All right, guy that's never threatened anyone, threaten this kid. Yeah, you better get out of here, or I'm gonna punch your balls, buddy.
I like to imagine the Zuck. He's like, for some reason, listening into this podcast, and he hears us talking about gangs, and he's just kind of like, nope.
Instantly recommends us gangs for sale. He morally objects.
Can't piss the Zuck off.
Me, myself, as a lizard man, detest gangs.
Oh, my God.
I personally, as a man with a forked tongue, do not agree with gangs.
I don't know what the heck that is, but I don't like it.
Well, Mrs. Lady in a pantsuit, let me tell you about how networks work.
Let me tell you, the rich, they can have their little gang at the golf course because there's money involved there. But the poor people, we got to keep the poor people separate.
Listen, I was either going to be a soccer player or the kicker in football. You tell me what I was going to pick.
Low-key soccer is significantly better than football, though.
Not in America, though, because we're assholes.
Well, that's because we're just boring. We like to eat.
Yeah, we're boring assholes.
Cheese on bread.
I know we only like sports if there's violence involved, which is fucked up.
Oh, yeah. America has
Except for baseball, I guess. But baseball's fucking boring to watch, dude.
Yeah.
I like to play baseball, but god damn is that a boring sport to watch.
I don't know. Okay, I'm going to say it. Every motherfucker out there that is a diehard baseball fan are 100% just watching it and buying all the fucking merchandise because they think that other people think it's cool. It's like a community thing. I'm calling out like thousands of people right now.
Right.
But
I mean, it's not that. Yeah, I mean, I get it.
It
makes sense. When I was being a part of something, yeah, for sure.
I was super into football for like 2 years of my life because my fucking friends.
Yeah. You guys would always every Sunday watch Seahawks game and shit. Get drink beer, get pizza.
It was my church.
Right.
Yeah. And then one day I realized, holy fuck, I know all these stats about all these players and all of this, so I can just have small talk with dads that I don't give a fuck about, or,
right?
Or bandwagoner moms that just come through and.
So the Seahawks, huh? Are you a 12 fan?
I have to get the drink that that's with the sports team.
Well, it's graded blue. What am I supposed to do? Not fucking drink it?
You know what I don't like?
The Steelers.
Any other team that's not ours.
I was gonna say a pick an era. It was the Steelers and the 49ers, I feel like are the most hated Seahawks teams, which is just people get crazy, man. They get violent over that shit. It's just let people have their own fucking opinions.
Nope.
It's wild. I love too so much the idea of fantasy football. That's so fucked up that's this confidently a thing people do, but nerds still get made fun of.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Everyone's just got their fucking morals
kink
all messed up, man.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh, shit.
Oh, dude, I remember what I was going to say earlier. Have you listened to Rex?
Oh, yeah, dude. I showed you Rex years ago.
It's an old school band.
Yeah, dude. Rex
That's one I
sick.
always got recommended to cover. I think their song Hex, maybe. Hex by Rex.
See, it's at this point now. Actually, I think their shit got taken down from Spotify.
Whoa.
Yeah, because they just
Too
just
brutal?
probably they just probably forgot to
I think
resubscribe to their fucking DistroKid subscription.
You're probably not wrong.
Ooh,
Have you heard the new Filth?
Filth.
I think there's a new Filth song.
I was literally just listening to them earlier today.
Did you hear the new song? I feel like I saw a teaser for one. I don't know if it's out yet.
Oof. Yeah, there she be. There's the band. Unanswered. Oh, wait. Did they cover Unanswered? I swear to fucking God. Oh, they covered
did.
Unanswered. Classic.
I love it. It's like, did they do it? And you hear, dun, dun. Oh, God.
It's just that snare click.
I covered this song on stream today with Jared.
Poser.
True.
Oh, okay. Remember that time?
It's really fast.
Yeah, really
It seems
fast.
like sped up.
Do you remember the time we went?
Like they played it at faster BPM.
You and me went and saw them at. It was like 20 fucking people at the Funhouse.
Yeah, I do. With
we
victims.
were just what we went out. I think we went out because you were like talking online with the homies and victims, right? Over something.
I don't know. I didn't realize that they knew who I was until I got there.
Oh, really?
Why were we there?
Well, I think we were just trying to go see a show. We were like,
Honestly,
fuck it.
yeah, we might have just had that scheduled out. Just 'cause,
Yeah.
like, what a sick lineup.
I think that's a really important thing worth mentioning. I think it's so interesting the second someone releases something really they release something and it becomes successful. There is this very light undertone of ego that takes over the artist, and they start thinking, I can maintain this hard, real image even without going to shows, without being exposed to new music and new artists and new, I don't know, the new scene, because it's always evolving.
Right.
That is, I think, the biggest detriment an artist can really do in terms of like evolving with a scene, naturally. Just because I think as artists, it's our responsibility to stay in that community and see what people are doing. I absolutely think you need to have your own thing you do. But I think, it's plain as day. Everything we do right now is all some sort of different interpretation of what one big artist did at one point,
Right. Yeah, for sure.
That's just art. Art is bigger than us as artists, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, every time somebody makes something new, it just starts to like evolve and grow from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, something I was talking, I don't remember who I was talking to about, it might have been you even, but about how dope Japanese music is in like every facet of the word because of how burden-free they are of like shame in artistry, because you can just do anything there and commit to it and people will take it seriously and you don't have to worry about people being like, oh, is this parodies or they're trying too hard, like this is cringy. The people just be like, whoa, I love this, like cool costumes, cool theme, cool thing.
Yeah.
Not just like, well, I wouldn't do this, or like, hey everyone, this isn't cool, right? Right, guys?
Cool.
And then everyone's like, yeah, I don't want to be the one that thinks it's cool when everyone else thinks it's not cool. It's just such a high school, like, we're bred to just think that way about some shit. Like, hey, you guys think this is cool before I admit that I actually like it, right? And everyone goes, no, I don't like this. And you go, yeah, me either. I don't like it either.
I think that's one of the greatest perspectives, but like also the worst things about getting older. You see kids go through the same mistakes you're going through. And you literally can't just shake them out of it, because if you do, then they're just not going to be able to comprehend the dumb decisions they're making as
unless
kids.
you're a big advocate in their life already, they're just going to be like, okay, grandpa.
Yeah.
It's just classic kid.
Yes. I showed you that Left Behind Animal Crossing music video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty hype.
Yeah. I think it was earlier this week, everyone, that Left Behind just randomly put out a song, and the music video, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. It's probably one of the most recent things. But yes, Animal Crossing music video. Ruby said he didn't really like it too much, but I was just like, come on. Like, Animal Crossing's like everyone's playing it right now.
I think that's why he didn't like it though, is because it was seemed more of like a cash grab attempt to him than like genuine like, oh, I just love the game so much. But
I got the opposite vibes. I got the like, oh, this is really just what they've been doing this whole time. The virus has just been
right.
You know,
yeah, I can see how it can be taken either way, but that even goes into what I was just saying about the Japanese bands. Like, you could do that there and nobody would think it was weird at all. Like, but here we have to guess, well, what was their intention? Because that is what is going to help me form my opinion on it, which is fair, honestly, but it also is like, you can't just appreciate the art because you have to be like, well, is it this thing or what are they trying to do?
Yeah.
Have they put out another new one?
Konashi?
Yeah.
I think it's fair that we give this a listen right now, Bobby.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, is this the... I think this is... Looks like the SoundCloud artists are at it once again, everyone. You go to Konashi's page, and there's an artist called...
Hey, what the fuck?
Konashi, with a single called Watch Out.
Why is this the first thing that pops up?
This is why you got to make sure your band name is your own band.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's
super
but on the note that we are listening to Konashi right now, I think it's appropriate that we have the conversation that I can't fucking stand his voice.
It's totally fair. I would never fault you for that either.
Yeah.
I still don't know. I don't know.
I almost feel bad, Austin.
Why?
Because I understand the band is good. I do. And I understand that the vocalist is trying to be different. I love that. I love that he's doing his own thing, but
just isn't working for you.
Being someone that's like working on audio files like all the time, hearing how much better literally probably anyone else in that band could probably sound. I mean, I'm not trying to like tear homie apart right now.
No, I get you. You're inclined to, or not inclined. You're allowed to have your opinion on this. That's totally fine. You shouldn't feel guilty for not liking his voice. That's not,
Yeah.
It's not definitive of you as a person. It's just you don't like his voice.
Watch I wake up tomorrow morning with a really fucking mean tweet.
And there's
how could you?
Well, dude, like half the time I like his voice.
That's my friend.
I can find it enjoyable, but other times like it just doesn't work for me. I laugh at certain like when his voice just dries out and there's this like that. I kind of giggle, but there's other parts where sometimes it's fucking sick. Where I don't know, he's just spitting and just saying some real shit. Yeah. But other times I think it's cringy, like when he says, I don't know, like he references names and stuff, and is like, Casey, why did you leave me? Like that stuff. It's like a little like I don't know. I get the vibe, but sometimes I need a real good emotional ass take, and that I guess as a vocalist too, knowing how like that what he's doing doesn't. I know it's not an emotional take. It's just like you can do that sound by just like throwing your voice.
Yeah.
And I think that's what takes it out of me sometimes is that it's hard to invest if the lines aren't super impactful every time, because then I'm like, oh yeah, this is a little corny.
Yeah.
But I definitely respect homie's lyrics, because I not many people write like that, just about super real shit, like very honest and real about just being struggling in life, and not like depression, anxiety, just like literal, like family conversations, like actual quoted dialogue and stuff from breakups and family traumas and shit.
Yeah.
Full of Hell is hard.
On the real, yeah.
So sick.
A conversation I wanted to have with you that I thought might be kind of interesting is how people straight up be buying their shirts and they don't even they've never listened to a single song.
Dude, welcome to JFAC 2010.
Yeah, Trumpeting Ecstasy by Full of Hell. There's something about the industrial sound. And I don't know who the female artist is they got to sing over it. So haunting.
Is she not credited?
I don't believe she is. It'd probably be in like the YouTube comments or something.
It happens more and more, like I feel recently.
Oh, it's Nicole Dollinger.
Okay.
Dollinger? Yeah. Cool. Oh, yeah. And they had a specific homie do some of the programming for this song.
That's dope.
Wow. Yeah, I love I love projects that are so collaborative like that.
And just creative. Like this video is like they're just going out of their way to make something unique. And it looks low budget too. Just like they're clearly just doing this on their own. The fuck? This is crazy. It's like some car bomb shit.
Yeah. You gotta respect any noise band out there that can just really make it actually sound good, you know?
Mm-hmm. Like Artist and Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
You follow him?
No. Who?
That dude's crazy. Or Author Punisher.
Oh, Author Punisher.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar, actually, now that I think about it. Maybe I've heard you mention it.
He's
before.
the dude, he's the engineer that has made his own instruments. He like created a new instrument that doesn't exist in nature.
Man.
Yeah, dude, this guy's crazy.
Nile
Does he have a new,
Strength?
what's that bottom one? Or it's an album stream. Never mind. I thought it was a new video. I mean, yeah, the top one's fine. The Hill Strength.
Yeah, this has got 500,000 views, homie.
Very cool. So this dude, he does all the instruments. It's just a one-man band, but he's an engineer. So he's created these instruments that just make gigantic sounds, like huge industrial sounds. It's so cool, dude. You'll love it. And he has like a modifier in his voice too, like a custom mic he made.
Whoa. Yeah, he's like picking up his throat vibration versus his
talking voice. Such an artist. Yeah, turn it up. You gotta feel that fucking.
Yeah, this is just like
So these are
9
all
Inch Nails 2.0.
This is all created from this machine though. Like there's no like samplings of things. Like everything is made from this. He doesn't add guitar or anything.
Yeah, it's one instrument line in, right?
Yeah, it's so cool. That fucking big hammer he has when he slams it into the thing and it makes the bass hit.
Yeah.
How cool. Like this is something that can't be replicated, at least not easily. Like this dude is going to be like the guy that.
Oh yeah, he was on
this.
Noisy, look. See?
Yeah. That's how I found out about him.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it was from that interview. They did a little short piece on him. I've just been like semi-obsessed ever since.
My question is, where do you start when you build an instrument like this?
He talks about it a little bit in that interview.
Oh, I'm sure.
And that he works, obviously as an engineer. And he just said like one day he wanted to make bigger noises with his music, but he couldn't because he was so limited. And like obviously what sounds can be made. So he's like, I want to just like. I could probably do this. I'm an engineer. I could figure something out to make a bigger sound. And then he just kept building from there and made this fucking crazy masterpiece.
Yeah.
Super cool. Those some deep frequencies.
For real,
Like,
yeah.
this is something you could just have really good headphones on and just vibe the fuck out. Yeah, I highly recommend checking this guy out. If you guys have never heard of Author and Punisher. Very cool. Check out that Noisy interview.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Very sick.
Y'all have to check that one out later. What else you been up to this week, Abby? I feel like we have been seeing a lot of each other, but that's just because we've been working on a record.
Yeah, which has been awesome. We've been working on the new Fly. We got one song left of the current batch, and then on to the next ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun. I had like not like writer's block, but I just wasn't motivated to write for like the past year or so.
Yeah.
So it's been fucking great, honestly, getting back into writing again recently.
Yeah.
For the new Fly stuff, I've loved it. And the new the Dark Watch stuff that I'm doing with Jacob, just got the 100% album artwork back. So like that's ready to go. You're fucking working on that Nick Nocturnal thing for me. That's almost done. I got a ton of music stuff coming out. Got my computer all set up finally, my desktop, so I can get back to streaming regularly.
I think I have a pretty interesting question that I think a lot of people would like to know from you. What is how is the writing process for you? Because I always feel it very. I think it's appropriate to give you your space to really just figure out what you want to talk about. Because I know you've got a lot to say, but I think. For just like anyone, it's like we sift through like how fucked up are we trying to go? How much of myself am I willing to expose to the public?
Yeah, I start by setting like a artistic boundary, I guess, by like we're in a metalcore band. Certain things are like you have to kind of fit like your creative outlets a little bit to the genre. Like in deathcore, it's a little more visceral and a little more, I don't know, like there's bigger words that are involved. Like the content can be more fantasy based. With metalcore, I feel like fantasy doesn't make much sense. It doesn't really land as well.
Yeah.
I personally am very not a big fan of like I don't know, venting negatively with nothing to learn from it.
Yeah.
Because for me growing up, like music was always something I could turn to in even when I didn't know it, in a dark time, to like reflect or not feel so alone, or to kind of try to understand my feelings a little bit. And I was never drawn to that like dark, angry music until I was older, and like kind of was just like, oh, I like heavy stuff now. This is kind of appropriate of the genre, but I never felt compelled, artistically at all for that type of like hatred, or like I always wanted to know where my feelings came from. So it was never like I was just writing songs about how pissed off I was or how angry I was. It was always me trying to find reason or meaning to why I was feeling the way I was feeling. And that even reflects to now, is that I can apply that to things I deal with, or things I see my friends deal with, or loved ones, or the mass populace. I really try to give a perspective to things that people struggle with, and I try to do it metaphorically. Like that's a big thing I love about Fly in this type of metalcore, is that I try to write very real, very honest songs, but creatively, like not literal. Like I refuse to use words like lie and hate. Like when people just say it as a rhyme scheme. Like there's certain words that are just so overplayed. So I have like rules I set for myself to not.
I think that's very mature of you, honestly. I feel like where the song's going to go if you just choose to only hone in on a certain aspect of emotion.
Definitely.
It's like I get why there is a big market for the fuck you for doing this fucking thing to me, you fucking bitch.
Right, because a lot of people don't have any outlet for like the guiding, to know that, oh, I'm angry because of this.
Yes.
Not just I am angry. Like there's so many people are just angry and they have no understanding or reason why.
Yeah.
And that was I spent a whole bunch of my life that way. I was just pissed off, not really understanding why, and then realizing, oh, it's because I had a fucking shitty childhood and I had a bad hand dealt to me. So I've been internalizing and getting more and more mad at the world and blaming the world for giving me this shit hand.
Yeah.
And instead of continuing to be mad about it, I wanted to write songs to like get my feelings out there on those things. That's why a lot of my songs have questions in them.
Yeah.
Because I don't know the answers on a lot of these things, and I only know what my experience has given me and what my personal enlightenment brings. And I like to be open-ended in my songs sometimes and just have vagueness, because it's I don't know, that's kind of the beauty and the tragedy of life, is that there's so many mysteries and we kind of just have to accept that we're not going to know them all.
Yeah. I think the thing that I really, really enjoy about you as a lyricist is I don't get the feeling at the end of one of our songs that it's just like, oh yeah, everything's positive. He's like, yeah, we've definitely defeated hardship or anything. Like I don't get like some weird Christian camp like positivity,
Right.
like everyone's in this together
Typical
kind
story of rising action, falling action, denouement type of thing.
I get like a sense of like I guess I can just like relate to that feeling. It's just like, yes, life is hard. Every day we fight it, but that's what we do. We just gotta.
That's the human experience.
Every day we try our best, and we're gonna experience hurt, and it's probably not gonna get any easier. But every day we're just working on ourselves.
Yeah, progress.
That's the only thing we can do.
Trying to find meaning in this copulous life.
Yeah.
This big cosmic void that we are just drifting through.
Yeah.
Infinitely. It can be bigger and frightening than it needs to be, and we can also be hatefully distracted more than we need to be. I feel like there's a good medium in life to be happy. There's people like Anthony Bourdain that have perceivably the coolest job in the world, no problems, and fucking killed himself. Like he traveled the world and ate food for a living, and
Oh yeah.
went to every place like people that spend their whole lives working. They're like, oh, I want to go to this exotic place. I just want to do this thing. Homie was doing it, and he still was sad at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like. Or like all these, so like artists and celebrities, they just grind and grind and grind and grind, and then like half of them end up dying from fucking drug overdoses because they're super sad and they don't know why. They're just like, this is just life. I'm just sad and depressed, and then you get famous where nobody treats you like a person anymore, and all your friends are just yes men that will do anything you say and won't tell you no. And you're just like, oh, I want to party, and they're like, yeah, dude, well, I can get you Xanax. Like, that's cool, right? You think that's sick? You'll remember this, right? Like, you'll guest list me and my girlfriend next time if I get you Xanax, bro. Hell yeah, man, for sure. And it's just enabling this dude's bad habit, and I don't know. We're all just playing this sad game, and
I think that's the weird thing about it. It
takes a minute to step back from it and be like, wait, what am I doing?
Everyone is in some form or another, just
playing a sad little game.
We're all these sad little people with all these crazy insecurities, and
we're really just a dot in time. It's hard to fucking cope.
Yeah.
Especially when you're like, we have parents that just spend their, like, if you take it back to like our grandparents, and I feel like that's a big mark of when the abuse like was starting to, or I guess great grandparents rather. Let me say that. Yeah, our great grandparents is when the like, obviously it's been happening for a long time, but at least in my head, that's as far back as I can fathomably be like, okay, this is a cycle of abuse that we're all living, and we're gonna keep perpetuating unless somebody makes the conscious effort to stop it.
You can have the conversation with your mom, like, what was your grandma like?
Right. Like, she was awful. She was really strict and rude, and I hated her.
And then you can translate that to how their grandpa or grandma fucked up with their kids, and then
it's usually this like
down to your parents.
And it's so funny because if you ask all of them, they always like growing up or like when they start having the baby, they're like, I'm not gonna do what my parents did to me, and then they end up doing it, but in a backwards way. People that, well, I'm gonna spoil my kids because I wish I had stuff when I was a kid. And then it's like, well, that's what you are perceiving happiness to. Is like, oh, I wish I had a holiday because I missed out on the toys of that. Or you're associating like, Hallmark movie holidays to happiness and stuff. And then you actually get those things when you have your own family, and you just spoil your kids, and now they're rampant brats that you just detest because you've gone your whole life, well, I can't punish them because that's what my parents did to me.
Yeah.
And so now there's this off ratio where you're spoiling them and they're just going unpunished. And now they're just these little shitheads, that have no sense of morality or like moral barometer or anything. And it's just like so it's the cycle's continuing, but it's evolving,
Yeah.
And so there's like, I didn't molest my kids, but I still yelled at them and I spanked them and I spoiled them, and they were confused as fuck all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like it used to just be like sexual and physical, and then it started to really devolve into this mental thing, especially with
I think it's crazy how neglect has a huge play too.
Yeah.
Like a long family history of neglect. That's when you start to see, I feel like, serial killers and shit.
Right.
It's
left
a weird,
your own devices without any guidance.
I think with serial killers, it's like there's a
serial killer.
there's a neglect.
Noah's cute serial killer review.
There's this neglect thing happening, but there's also a very unspoken chain around the child. It's like you can't leave the family because mommy needs you here. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking of Jeffrey Dahmer,
or
for
Ed
example.
Kemper even.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not going to give you the love you need, but you can't leave.
Mm-hmm. I need you. It's that selfishness of, I don't want to be alone, so I'm just going to use my kid as a guilt weapon because they have to stay with me because I'm their mommy. Yeah. And I think that's an interesting thing. Like, not to, try to sympathize serial killers, but more so empathize them and understand like where that cycle comes from. Like, why are they the way they are? Like sure, I think some, like on a very small scale, some people are just crazy fucked up from birth. But in most instances, there's like head trauma. Like I've noticed this a lot just because I watch a lot of like, oh, where did this serial killer come from type of thing. Just because I'm kind of curious on why people do the things that they do sometimes. And in a lot of my experience, if it's either, trauma from family, like abuse, or like a family member or a close family member, like physical, mental, or sexual trauma or abuse, or it's like a head injury where they, like, this kid was young and like almost drowned, or they hit their head on a rock, or got hit in the head with a log, and then just lost their moral compass and just no longer had that empathy factor in their nervous system or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's wild how that can kind of transpire.
Oh yeah. If you ever get a second, I mean,
1 second, tell me.
right now, there's this great book. I'm actually I'm hovering over right now. I listened to the audiobook by it, but it's by Kevin Dutton. It's called The Wisdom of Psychopaths. It's like a 8-hour fucking book. I think it's 10. But anyways, that's besides the point. Great book. Great author who just dives into everything that, conditions a psychopath to exist in nature.
Right.
And the role that psychopaths play in society. Because I think it's like for every 1,000 people, there's like 1 or 2 psychopaths, So they're definitely like, I think of them as like that weird predator in nature, There's obviously going to be a lot more deer than there are like cougars or something. Or mountain lions, I should say.
Oh, they're like a culling type of, like maintaining the ecosphere kind of.
It's like
situation.
a natural cleanser essentially.
Right.
Like it keeps things in check because I guess think of a world where there were absolutely zero psychopaths. Yeah. Like what would happen? Would society be too good?
Probably not.
I don't know. I think we as people kind of rely on a little bit of destruction and.
But I don't think that's inherent of a psychopath, though. I feel like everyone is capable of great terror.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I agree with that.
So my point is that even if murderers weren't on this world, we would still have government officials that have a ton of power and will kill people to get what they want. Oh, I have a great secret that I need hidden. Guess what? You're dead. I just have so much power and money that I can pay anyone to not say something. Like once you get the idea in your head that cops can be paid off by government officials, like what is the safety of the world is removed, Yeah,
I feel like Hollywood really kind of took that away from trying to exist. Is they just like associated paying cops off as like a 1950s gangster movie.
It was like,
or
yeah,
like,
it was like
1960s, like
a cartoonish
like that happened
mob
once.
type of thing. And it was always like the cop was like, well, he's got my daughter or something.
Yeah.
Where in reality, it's just a lot, not all of them, but like a lot of, you got to think of the job, right? Like who's willing to put, like, it's not so much about willing to put your life on the line, because some people are like, well, you wouldn't put your life on the. That's not the day to day. That's like the rare occurrence. Like most cops don't even see action that like in their whole time being a cop. Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of the times it's more of a, I don't have very good control over my anger, and the way that I have control in my life is by having it over other people. This type of complex that, like, if I can control this situation of these people and like get out my angers and my frustrations of not having any control of my life, I can just use these people as this outlet of my anger and my frustration about not having any control, or all these built up, pent up feelings. Like, it's such a, I feel like it's the job is encouraging of kind of like loose cannon people that are willing to take somebody's life without hesitation. Like, I feel like our practices for police force is crazy, of just how like eager they are to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Like they're so just committed to be like, I'm scared for my life. That type of vibe. Like, why are you doing this job then? If you're that terrified to where you're just like ready to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Like, why is your life more important to where your job doesn't mean anything anymore, and this guy's now just gonna die because you've decided. What if he gets up and pulls a shotgun out of his shorts?
Yeah.
And it shoots me.
That's another weird thing though. Like, I think about how the paranoia, like sometimes I'll have pretty bad paranoia. Mm-hmm. But then I think about what it must be like being a cop, like right now, my paranoia would probably be through the roof, like on the real.
Yeah, imagine how people of color have felt for the past 100 years.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Not trying to discount that. I'm just saying.
No, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
not trying to accuse you.
Yeah. I just don't get it. Like, why would anyone want to be a cop? You know, like it's not like you're getting like
I'm telling you that.
a shit ton of money.
It's like that feeling weak type of thing. It's like dudes that have been like abused and neglected in their life, and so this is their way of getting back in the world. I'm going to be a big, strong American. And you know what big, strong Americans do? They stop injustices. And you're an injustice right now. And if you don't, like, there's so many of those fucking videos of just the person not complying for like a second and them just being like, all right, I'm going to hurt you now. Like, that's crazy to me how often that happens of just, you're no longer a person to me in my eyes. I am going to hurt you and potentially kill you because I don't have time for a conversation. I will not tell you why I'm arresting you. I'm just going to do it because I'm an asshole.
I think right now one of the biggest problems, like when I think of like the fear of our country going to civil war ever again, I think it 100% is based off of the fact that most communities, I guess if you want to say left or right, they all have this
turn.
They have all this. They have this idea that America is 100 more so based around their idea of what the country is. Like some of us go out and we fucking promote, like we're just waving the flag around, we're screaming freedom and shit like that. Mm-hmm. And some of us are just, you know, not even doing that, but still loving America, right? But within that, you have this weird dichotomy now.
It's like the movie Enemy. There's passive and active control.
Yeah, positive, negative shit. You know, it goes back to that yin yang kind of thing.
Or even just like the willingness to take advantage of your situation and still benefiting from it, but not being like aggressive about it. You know.
Yeah, I think it's once you finally realize that, oh God, this country is not the way I thought it was. Mm-hmm. Like I'm kind of
it's not the way
I'm the
media
weird,
likes to.
I'm the weird loser in this scenario. So I'm gonna do what anyone naturally would do and get pissed off and make a lot of noise or something.
Well, and to be fair, in our history of things like witch trials and shit, and just like literally gaslighting others, in a world where whoever tattles first is the honest one, you know, is the winner of the scenario.
Yeah,
it definitely institutionalizes a society where we want to just be complicit and just, I don't want any trouble. Like that looks like a big issue for me if I do that. I'm just gonna mind my own business here. Like I don't want to step in and say anything because that could potentially be me, and I don't want that.
Yeah, I do think it's funny though too how most people claim to be these hard asses that would stand up for themselves, but the second their boss comes in and says, "Hey, I need you to do this for me," sure, anything, you know. And then the second their boss is gone,
motherfucker, or the kid flip off,
or just any confrontation. Like I can't tell you how many times I've had to check just like some dumbass motherfucker just at the grocery store for being like a dipshit, you know, thinking he can just get away with like, ooh, maybe mommy will pick up my mess.
God,
and it's just like, hey, are you gonna pick up that thing you just dropped on the aisle?
The thing will take 2 seconds to do.
Like, hey, don't fucking leave that, dude. That's,
rude as hell.
It's rude as hell, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I peed on the floor. Can you tell someone to come pee?
And again, that could be that raising attitude of the parents that were abused physically, and so they're just like, well, I'm going to spoil my kids, and now you have a rotten kid that has no sense of consequence or empathy. It's just entitled as all hell.
Yeah.
My fucking tailbone's going to break.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's the worst thing about that chair. Horrible support.
Oi!
Horrible.
Horrible.
Just horrible.
Ouroboros.
I feel horrible about
Ouroboros. All right, random segue, but
okay.
Speaking of Ouroboros, what was your favorite Resident Evil movie?
My favorite Resident Evil movie? Apocalypse.
Really? Is that the third one?
That's the second one.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's Nemesis. Shows up.
Yeah. I mean, CGI was a little behind, but I gotta give it to them. It's just girls, like really skinny girls, riding motorcycles, doing backflips, just shooting zombies.
True.
Flawlessly, you know.
The cathedral shit. She flies in and shoots the liquors.
Oh yeah, loved
Pretty
it.
hard.
Yeah,
Yeah, the first 3 are actually kind of fun. Got to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
They start to get really bad after, like really bad. But the first 3 are kind of fun, for sure.
Yeah. What's your favorite one?
The third one.
Third one?
Yeah, I had the most fun watching that one. I love when she like. There's that part where they deactivate her and all of her friends start getting murdered and she just has to watch.
Oh,
and then she can't do anything. And then she like fights through it and turns back on and just starts fucking shit up. That scene is so cool.
Man.
Oh, and then the flamethrower with the birds in the bus, the crows, like, and that dude like sacrifices, or the girl sacrifices herself and like closes the birds in the thing and she gets pecked to death.
Man.
That shit's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. I'm all about that kind of shit.
It's a lot of fun.
Dude, a movie, I've been trying to see this this YouTube video on this movie for a minute, but I just haven't gotten to it. But 1408, that was a movie that everyone saw when they were like 15.
Dude, horribly misunderstood movie.
Yeah.
Horribly misunderstood.
I really want to rewatch it now.
Really, it's fucking good. I remember that movie. I thought it was, for whatever reason, I remember in my head from after the first time I saw it when I was younger, not liking it.
Yeah.
And like, recently, like what you said, I went back and saw it pretty recently and was like, wait, this movie is awesome. What the fuck?
Yeah, I think it just comes down to how at the certain point in time that you're watching this movie, how you're able to comprehend everything.
It was more of like, this is supposed to be scary, I thought.
Yeah.
And
I totally went into
like
it
terrifying.
thinking that, but definitely felt a certain way after watching it, thinking, all right, so this is more suspenseful, like you're supposed to think. But I'm still just a stupid kid at this point, so maybe I'll just rewatch it later when I'm like 26. I don't know.
You did it exactly.
We're watching it now.
Exactly 26 years later.
No, I still need to watch Underwater. I'm gonna get
That's
to that this week.
Yeah, let me know. I'm trying to watch that with you.
Yeah, dude.
I want to see the big reveal again. It's so epic.
Yeah.
It's not the best movie, but it's fun. I really hope that there's a director's cut that doesn't have the voiceover dialogue. Because there's one at the beginning of the movie and at the end of the movie, and I think that they're for like some dude in a suit went, well, I'm confused. And so they had to do the voiceover because the ending voiceover is super cheesy and kind of like undercuts the epic thing that's happening.
Yeah.
And then the very beginning dialogue, Kristen Stewart sounds like she's so bummed she's doing the voiceover. It's like Blade Runner all over again. And it's just heavy-handed exposition that is not necessary at all. And it's fucked up because there's really good soundscaping that happens in the first like 10 seconds of the actual movie, like before all the news footage and stuff, like when the actual movie starts. Yeah. There's like this cool soundscape happening that you're really supposed to pay attention to that makes sense later. But you can't really hear it because there's the voiceover going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's also what makes me think that it was a post thing. Because there was soundscaping going on there, and they had to put voiceover on top of it.
Yeah.
Which kind of seems like a pointless thing to do. Maybe don't.
Dude, so little hack for anyone.
Tiny little hack.
With
number 7.
With the amount of movies that we've just been putting on the side on YouTube, just streaming, you just keep finding full movies. You'll just start getting recommendations for free full movies.
That's wild. Like Donnie Darko free. Huh?
Donnie Darko for free right here. And it's just some random dude that just uploaded it.
I remember being very young and thinking that Donnie Darko was Kyle XY.
What was Kyle XY?
That was the one where the dude didn't have a belly button.
Dude didn't. Oh, wait. Was that the... No, I'm thinking of that movie where...
he was like the perfect boy.
I'm thinking of The Bubble Boy. What was that movie?
These are all Jake Gyllenhaal movies, which is funny.
Are they all Jake Gyllenhaal movies?
It's him in all three
Jake
of those.
Gyllenhaal.
Me too, man.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite actors for sure.
I would honestly give him top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
I really... every movie he's in, I fucking love it.
Brokeback Mountain?
Prince of Persia.
Prince of Persia. Oh, my God. Shit. Would you Would you attend a Cannibal Corpse concert?
Oh, maybe not.
No?
Yes. Okay, if it was like a balcony thing, like I didn't have to be in the crowd. I'd like to watch them for like a song or two. I'm not into like a 2-hour Cannibal Corpse set though. Gotta be real.
Definitely not. No, yeah. I wouldn't even want to see a 30-minute set. I'd be very okay with like a 20-minute.
I want to see 2 songs.
Yeah, exactly. And even then, like, I'm okay not seeing I Come Blood or what's that other song?
Yeah. Eviscerated Plague.
Yeah.
Evisceration blood.
It's like, I get it. There's old
Hammer
songs.
Smash Face.
Yeah, Hammer Smash Face. That's the song. The
Goofy samples.
Yeah.
Max.
Yeah, it's like I'm sure they have better songs. It's just they have been looped into this thing. It's just like, remember that thing with the when we were younger? Like that was how we got back. We broke bottles on the wall. We threw them in the street, and then the cop couldn't find us. We ran away from the cop.
Couldn't find us.
Yeah,
he couldn't see my friend hiding behind my neck.
God, I hate old people.
I'm beginning to. I feel you.
Oh man,
I'm a big advocate for the extermination of the elderly.
I watched Children of the Corn the other day. That ties in very greatly with this conversation. Children of the Corn, holy fuck! That was definitely something I thought about as a kid. Like when I remember being in first grade, my teacher pissing me the fuck off, and I'm thinking, there's way more kids here than you, bitch. Like I'm about to start a militia right now.
Yo, I'm about to turn all these kids on you. You better watch your back, teach.
Yeah, we're gonna use the fucking, I don't know, like we're gonna throw the erasers at you, the big ones, and that's gonna hurt. And you're gonna cry, and you're gonna have to go to the fucking principal, and then I'm gonna have to like be like, oh geez,
I'm gonna have to kill the principal now too.
Yeah, how many people do I have to how many people do I have to execute?
I'm gonna have to burn down this building, aren't I?
Yeah. Me and my first grade militia, we're gonna fucking dominate the school.
First grade militia, love that.
We'll enslave the preschoolers. We'll have them build our pyramids.
Yo, that'd be hard. Toddler haven.
Yeah, but yeah, Children of the Corn. Wow, didn't they remade that shit?
There's like 9 sequels.
It's like Pumpkinhead.
They didn't remake it. They're like all sequels or not a remake. But what's it called when you do this? Like you just start making continuations off the property, but it's not the same story anymore.
Yeah,
it's one of those. Like when The Grudge became 3 to 5.
Yeah. Do we? How do we feel about The Grudge now? Because I remember everyone loved The Grudge as a kid, right?
I still think the original. Obviously, the Japanese version is the best one, but the American one is a good adaptation. It's almost a shot-for-shot remake, to be fair, of the Japanese one. Just subtle. Certain things are changed, but I used to be freaked the fuck out from the original Grudge.
Oh yeah, I think everyone was.
Going back, like it's still fucking creepy, man.
That's the ghost or spirit.
The ghost!
You think of that specific ghost when you turn your lights off, you get in bed because your closet's just right there. Or say you're staying over at your friend's house or something like that. I remember having multiple, just like, I couldn't sleep because I had no idea my surroundings.
And what a fun story, too, because both the girl, what's her name? I don't remember her name.
You don't have to.
And the little boy are making fucking creepy ass noises the whole time. And you're like, what is this about? And then at the end of the movie, it's like revealed why they're making it. And it's like, oh, I wasn't even expecting to get a reveal as to why they were doing this, to be honest.
Yeah.
But this is way creepier now that I know why. I think that one had really good jump scares and stuff. The remake of The Grudge, however, I could talk for an hour about how bad that movie is.
That's such a bummer, man. I remember
awful.
They announced that they were filming that like 2 years. So like they gave us a 2-year heads up, like, hey, we're filming.
And then it just
another
came out
Grudge.
of nowhere.
And they had like a good cast and everything too, which
if it comes out in January and it's a horror movie, it's probably bad. Just a pro tip, by the way.
Oh, that's your month? That's your month where bad things happen? Mine's March.
Well, it's usually just logically because it's like money dump time. Because it's like the very beginning of the year, so this is like all the movies that you're just like, here's a quick script that I need to get money to start my movies for the year. Like,
I think I was trying to be a little more spiritual than you are.
That's fair. That's fair.
Do you have a month that kind of like ever since you're a kid, you're just like, man, what? Bad shit happens to me around this month.
For a little bit, it was July and August, kind of.
Yeah.
Dude, there was like a 3-year span where every time we went on tour, somebody close to me died.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was so just like,
that was weird.
This is getting really tragic.
Yeah.
I may have to stop touring. It was like I started to get like genuine anxiety when we went on the road. Like the fourth time, I was like, who's gonna die next? Like I really should start saying my goodbyes before I leave, because this is fucking crazy how many times this has happened.
I think that's a really hard thing that we as artists have to really come to terms with is the fact that the more serious we are about growing as people for ourselves, the more open to the fact that we're going to have to say goodbye to people that probably really mean a lot to us, like sooner than we thought.
For sure.
It happens, you know, they have to live their life. You have to live yours. And when you're on the road and you can't just stop by every weekend like most friends would, you know, shit fucking happens.
Yeah,
They're
life gets in the way. And
doing other stuff with other people.
especially like as interests grow and you kind of change as people. Like, you know, I still have really close friends, but I just don't see them very regularly because we just don't really share the same interests and passions right now in life. And, you know, they're kind of into that, like still into drinking and stuff on the weekends, which I'm down for a beer or a shot or two, but you know, I'm not I'm not into like driving an hour and a half to just get drunk by a bonfire. And I don't know, it just kind of seems like a waste of time. So like at a certain point where I'm like, not that I always need to be working, but even when we hang out, there's still like, I know I'm growing as a person and artistically. Like I'm not regressing and talking about shit like, hey, like, why do I feel this way? Like every time I hang out with like, you know, friends that are kind of still stuck in like the old city that we grew up in type of vibes.
I think it's really important to surround yourself with people that you both challenge each other, you know, around the same level, you know. It's not so much I'm always just like feeding your ego or you're just feeding my ego. It's hey, like, what do you think about this? Because like I'm kind of like self-conscious about this thing that affects me, and I was wondering if you ever like deal with this. And it could just be just really internal stuff. It doesn't even have to be like a body image thing. It could be, but it's just like I find that through our friendship, you know.
It's just a big lack of judgment, so we don't have to worry about like, oh, am I going to get made fun of if I feel this way or if I say this thing? You can just and that's why I think we're able to like say like if the thing's bothering us about the other person, like, hey, can you not do this, or like, and not feel weird about it at all because we know that the other person isn't being like snide or a smart ass or something stupid. You know, it's just a genuine thing. Like we know that we can expect real. We know we can expect realness out of each other. Like that type of friendship where there's not the second guessing of like, is he fucking with me right now? Like, I feel like it's important to have that delineation in friendships where it's not just all like, hey, fuck you, bro. That's how guys talk to each other, right? We just insult each other and then have drinks and then we say bye. To actually have like an introspective set of conversations about like, man, I'm pretty sad. Like, any idea why I might be sad? Like, exactly, bro. I got you. I know why you're sad.
And it's not in the sense to like become more sad. I think
it's about to understand why you're sad and to grow from it.
Yeah, exactly. There's no like I'm trying to one up everyone else with the whole like I'm the king of the sadness here. Like I don't need no woe is me. I'm genuinely curious. Like, and dude, I want to grow as a person, and I know that y'all have had things that I haven't experienced, and that to me is really interesting to see something that I might have to run into in the future, like
other people's kind of experiences shaping a different person, essentially. I think that's important. Yeah, just like understanding. Like so many people struggle with the fact that other people like things that they don't like. It's very surprising how. Like, what people are like, you're so stupid. You like that thing? I hate that thing. Like, okay.
I hate it.
It's like when old heads mock us for being into metalcore and shit. And I'm like, dude, I didn't grow up with it. Like, I'm sorry, but I didn't. Yeah. I wasn't exposed to that when I was a kid, and that's what shapes you as a person. I listened to disco and country when I was growing up, and I got into weird shit. I'm sorry that not all of us were shown the Black Album when they were 3 years old.
The Black Album.
It's such a thing. As a kid growing up was so just like this is just life. Like you hate what other people. If somebody likes something you don't, you hate them. That's just normal. That's like the football thing we were talking about earlier. Yeah. That's not my team. That's not my team. Fuck you.
Yeah. What a silly thing.
It's such a just silly me versus them type of. It's just it's a bells and whistles thing. It's just all distractions, you know.
I think the reason why people end up going that route in life is because they don't want the pressure of leading, essentially. I think when you're leading trends or anything really, you can, like it's a lot easier
There's
to
a lot
become
of,
like miserable.
Well, there's
sad.
there's a lot of room for scrutiny and like criticisms and stuff. And if you're
Some
not,
people don't take any
at all,
they
most people
snap
don't.
instantly.
Most people can't even take compliments anymore because they're so, and that's shitty because people are so good at manipulating people now because we're all hurt people, so we're just so used to these types of behaviors that like it's hard to be genuine with people anymore. You can't tell if you're being manipulated or not.
Yeah. I've really been fucking with these one takes that Nothing Nowhere does. I mean, some of them very clearly not just one takes, obviously. I'll cut him some slack. He does use a good majority of it. But yeah, it's I love the idea of taking an emo like SoundCloud song, but making it even more simpler with just an ambient, really pretty guitar.
Especially if you have the voice for it.
Yeah.
He's got a solid singing voice, so it works out. It's not. I hate bringing it up with that MGK shit. But like his voice on this is just not artistic at all. It's more so dude in his car, singing along.
100%. I'm drawing a blank for some reason on the record, but Nothing Nowhere was like my favorite artist of 2018, I believe.
The Hammer record.
That was a good record, but it was not that one. It was
the follow-up Ruiner. Or Ruiner was the Hammer album.
Reaper record.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, I just remember specifically the song.
Pretty fucking somber.
Yeah. Just a great record. I think Hopes
2017,
Up. Hopes Up with the Dashboard. Was it Ryan Cabrera feature?
Ryan Carbonara.
Yeah, carbonated soda.
Ryan Carey 2. Blood Retching.
Yeah, I at the time was just always listening to Dashboard. So the second I saw that, I was like, dude, how do you just do that? Your first record?
The heck?
You got Dashboard?
That's so crazy, man. How you do that with your fingers? Man, how you do the blood thing? How you spell blood with your fingers? Can you show me, Jimmy? I'm 6 years old. That's crazy you know how to do that.
Jesus.
Dude, I remember my sister crip walking in her bedroom. I'm like, why do you
Adorable.
know? I didn't know what that was. She was older than me.
Do your little dance.
Do your dance. I like the thought of a 10-year-old to a 15-year-old. What are you doing? So cute. I love the way you do the little dance.
They
Who's they?
I know. I was just gonna say, who is they?
Who is they?
I read
That's a good tweet.
I read a book.
Who is they?
Talking about how supposedly psychedelics, when you're tripping on psychedelics, that is pretty like comparable to what a really young developing like let's say like 3-year-old kind of experiences like growing up.
Okay.
Like they have that just loose sense of
Like ego death.
Yeah,
and because you don't have ego yet when you're a kid.
Yeah, they did some studies with like learning. Mm-hmm. And how typically when I'm a 26-year-old male.
Sorry, ladies.
They talk about how like someone like me solve this problem that involves thinking outside of the box.
Justin solve this problem.
Yeah, well, so it's the problem involves thinking outside of the box.
Right.
Kids that are 3 have a much higher likelihood of solving thinking outside of the box because we're not
stamped into thinking one way.
Yeah, my developed brain is more so thinking logically with what I have gathered growing up, like because I've been alive for 26 years. Like this is the law of order, or
right, that my brain's kind of
versus a kid.
This is what I've done to survive, and so these are the rules of nature that abide by me.
Yeah, a kid would be more willing to just try anything. A kid would put his hand on the stove to find out that it's hot, and because of that,
that declouding kind of.
Yeah,
you're more receptive to it. Makes sense.
Yeah,
to learning it.
Yeah, I read that in that Michael Pollan book, the How to Change Your Mind. Yeah,
nice. Very sick. Love stuff like that.
Yeah,
and that's such a cool thing to talk about too. Is that, like anxiety and depression and stuff is like feelings that are awful, and the chemical imbalances that are brought on to you by just immense traumas and stress and deep darknesses in your life and stuff. And I feel like it's such a conversation that to get people to be okay with talking about these things and start the healing process, you know, because I feel like so many people are just convinced they're going to be miserable the rest of their lives and that they have to suffer and be stuck with this. And I just feel like we just need to start the conversation on being okay with talking about these things.
You want to know a weird thing that happens with me? So what happens with me is the second that that dread goes away, the second things start working out. I have like a good solid 2 weeks. The second I start having like a good solid 2 weeks or something like that, I start thinking about how like I was feeling like the 2 weeks before that. I'd think about how low I'd be getting, and I was like almost as if I was like manifesting, like it's coming back, it's gonna come back, and I think for a good remainder of the rest of my life, I think I'm always gonna be that kind of person that's always gonna have that
the encroaching dread.
Well, that struggle of just like things are good now, but buckle up because I know this isn't forever. But that's important for my growth.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say, and that exactly, like being the first step of it is just being aware of acknowledging it. You know, acknowledging that is how you feel rather than hiding it. And every time that feeling comes up, drinking or taking a pill or something, you know, just acknowledging that you are scared of that and that that's okay. And that once you're okay with it being okay that it's scary, it starts to lose its vigor and its scariness. You know, it's like the first time you see Scream, I'm sure that's terrifying. The fifth time you see Scream, it's not very scary. And that's kind of how these things can work too, is like with traumas. Dude, I carried this burden my whole life of like, because I knew my brother was like sexually molesting my sister growing up, but I was so young that I couldn't do anything. I tried to physically stop him, and he told me that he was going to kill my sister if I told anybody that he was doing this to her. And I carried that burden with me for like 25 years of my life, of just thinking that it was like my fault that she went through that, or that I could have stopped it as like a 10-year-old kid, or probably even younger. I was probably like 8 actually, and then some. And he was like physically abusing me and shit too. Yeah. And just because I had never told anybody. And I one day was like, Nicole had just asked me something, and I kind of just went on a tangent about it, and I started venting a little, and I said that specific thing about how I carried that burden, and I kind of broke down and started crying. Yeah. And I used to like grit my teeth in like tension thinking about my brother and what he did to my sister and me. And now I can talk about it completely fine and like use it as a standpoint to like help other people go through abuse and stuff. And it was just so much pain thinking about it that it was just so easy to push back and push away. And it was just another, piece of kinder to my anger fire, and I didn't know why. Yeah. It was like this deep weight that I had just been carrying with me for so fucking long. And all it took was for me to just, let it be the world's problem, let it out of my mouth and out of my body and into the ecosphere. And because it sounds so stupid that would help. But it really does, because then you don't feel like it's your problem anymore. It's not just on you. Once you say it and another human being hears it and it is like, hey, that's okay to feel that way. You can be like, oh my God, it is? Or oh fuck, that's all it took?
I think it takes a lot sometimes though.
It does. It takes a lot of affirming. And sometimes it doesn't happen. And that's also fine. But, it's the whole argument of like, if it's an inevitability that the end is the end, then we can spend all of our time focusing on that dread and that inevitability and just being miserable the whole time, or we can do the things that we love doing and things that bring us joy and passion and try our best to surround ourselves with those things. And in a sense, distractions, but I feel like that's used as a negative term, more so as a way to cope with existence. It's kind of a dread that's always there, but it's about desensitizing yourself and coping more and more.
I think within the whole like learning to accept like loving things before we truly dive into how great something like as crazy as love is, we have to accept the fact that I'm going to love this thing, this person, this pet,
the capability of love.
Yeah, et cetera, et cetera. I now have to, right now in this moment, accept the fact that this thing's not forever. I might be around longer than the love of my life or something.
Right.
And you have to decide right then and there if you continue that risk of, this could be the love that takes me down. Like, I can't recover from this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's such a beautiful, what would you call it?
Romantic tragedy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the concept of like, there is risk in this pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
There's also pain. And right then in that moment, you have to decide whether or not you just unknowingly commit to it.
Mm-hmm. That's why I love that movie, Her, too. Of just
Beautiful.
the concept of love, of like, it doesn't all have to be romantic, Like, you can love a family member, you can love your significant other, you can love a friend, you can love another human being, you can love an animal, you can love an action,
Mm-hmm.
like,
and it's all different.
Love is an all-encompassing term and feeling, and like, we're all capable of receiving it and expelling it,
Yeah.
It's just,
I think the craziest thing about it is like, just we're all at this like different point in time with what love, like the definition of love is to us.
Mm-hmm.
I think, when I was a kid, I had a very backwards way, but it was the community. It was instilled.
Well, and how your parents were raised too, of like what their idea, the whole stay together for the kids type of attitude of like, man, we're so unhappy, but we have to stay together for the kids, which was always confusing to me because I'm like, what message does that send to your kids to be unhappy?
Yeah.
For like, what? I don't lie. Like, I don't understand what the lesson you're teaching me is.
Yeah.
Be unhappy and lie. Got it.
We as just young children always assume that the
Be selfish and
people have it all
codependent.
figured out.
Yeah, that's a shitty thing, that perpetuation of trust your elders, like just regardless of any circumstance.
I think a weird thing that I've been spending some time thinking about this, like the idea that younger people around, let's just say like 18, like there's even kids younger than me now that I think of that are already like just way surpassed my level of intellect,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I know that I need to like stand aside when it comes time. I'm that old person, It's just like the younger people, there's a reason why like they're going to be around when I'm not. And it's because they're just like a better, think of a computer like
a new
updating. Yeah. That's just what we are essentially. That's what people are. We're constantly updating.
Yeah.
Evolving and shit.
Especially the way Musk is taking things.
Yeah.
It's becoming more and more cyborgy.
I guess the reason why I bring that up is it's just interesting to see how old people are instantly to like get up in arms and be like, we need to keep young people like just barely alive. Yeah, that whole the concept of going to college and just eating only ramen noodles, it just seems like almost criminal.
Right.
It's just like, they really need to suffer. Like they need to like, they're either going to be homeless or successful. Like we can only have like a handful of successful people.
Such a backwards thing of, well, I had to do this, so you have to too. It's the way. Somebody told me this thing. We're all just perpetuating the cycle.
The one true way.
I struggled, so you have to. I thought that's why you struggled, so I didn't have to.
Yeah.
Isn't that the whole point of that? Didn't you learn anything from the struggle? Yeah. What am I going to learn if you already know the lesson? This is stupid. It's like, oh man, when I worked for my dad's construction company.
Yeah.
I remember I had worked there already for a long time, and then I went to a different job for a few years, and then I went back to the company, and I had to like restart at the bottom level. And I was like, I already have these job skills. Why can't I just? That's not why I came back. Like I'm trying to run my own division and like do big boy stuff.
Yeah.
Like teach me the job of the boss stuff so that I can take on bigger things. And he's like, well, no, because you have to dig ditches and like, show your worth and put in your time and stuff. I'm like, okay, so I have to physically hurt myself so that one day I can do the job I'm already qualified for? What the fuck kind of backwards thinking is this? Just Put me in the job I'm qualified for, and then hire somebody with no job skills to dig the ditch. What a waste of time. What are you teaching me? This is dumb.
Yeah.
Well, I did it. Okay. What did you learn? Shoveling's hard? I don't understand.
Yeah.
What is the life lesson, Father?
You don't even know, do you? You're just trying your best.
I love that. Like, you don't even know. Like,
They're like, uh-oh. My reality's crumbling.
whoopsie.
Did my child just own me?
Damn, yeah. And Halo 2, the fucking sniper shot.
Oof. The trail, you shoot a sniper shot and you accidentally walk into the smoke and it kills you.
Oh,
That's some hurt shit, dude.
shit.
I'm definitely a plasma grenade type of guy.
Plasma
Like, I'm always throwing stickies.
Damn.
Like that, I don't even use the gun sometimes.
Dude, I feel
Just stickies.
I haven't played Halo in like probably 8 years, but I feel like I could fuck y'all up. Honestly.
Dude, catch me on Gears though. I'm like,
I'm not
that's
that
the
good
shit
at
I
Gears.
kill at. I'm not the best at Halo, but I'll have a good time.
Yeah.
Like I'll get third. I'm like a third place kind of Halo player. I don't know why, but that's just so accurate for me.
Yeah.
I love that game, but I've never been the best at it. But catch me in Gears or Smash or Overwatch,
Yeah.
I'll carry your ass. You're a Tekken guy, right?
Oh yeah, Tekken.
Do you ever play Soul Calibur? Like, were you
A
strictly
little
Tekken?
bit. I was, but
Soul Calibur.
your boy was on PS1.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you did say that.
Soul Calibur came out That was 360, right?
360 and PS2. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But for some
GameCube.
reason, it just was one of those games you never wanted to play on PlayStation 2.
I could get that.
It's a 360
a
game,
PlayStation controller does not feel like a good fighting game controller. To be fair,
Yeah.
like Xbox, let's be real, not the best interface. Actually, probably a really shit interface. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Not the best original titles. They've got like 3 great ones. But man, dude, they got the controller down. Xbox controllers are god tier controllers, man.
What was the homie who was just here?
Right under GameCube.
He had
I don't remember his name, but he called himself Asian Cowboy.
Asian Cowboy. Okay, we'll just call him that. So this guy named Asian Cowboy was in our garage today, shooting a music video with the director who did our music video,
Mr. Black Snow Films himself.
Yes, Hodai. Anyways, he was like going off about Tekken 2, and I was just mixing, and I just popped my head around the corner, and I saw that he was wearing like a Yoshimitsu hat.
Oh shit!
And I was just like, damn.
You should have asked him.
What are you
his
guys
stance
doing?
was. What's your go-to stance with Mitsu, dude?
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, I'm more of a King guy myself. And he's just like, oh, really?
He got upset.
Yeah, he was like, I didn't know you were like into wrestlers and shit like that. And I was just like, I'm not really, but he's got like an actual jaguar for a head. So that's pretty fucking badass.
That's pretty hard, honestly.
And he like helps out these like orphanages and shit.
Yeah,
He's got a really cool story.
I've always liked the idea of a fighter that has very strong mandibles.
Mandibles, like a praying mantis.
No, like just had a jaws, like jowls, kind of.
Oh yeah, okay.
Just like really strong bite, because like the fighting is cool, but
Mortal
I've
Kombat
always
had
loved
someone like that.
like what you're saying, the King guy. He has the jaguar mouth.
Yeah.
So like if he gets up close in a combat situation, he could utilize that. Like if he's grappling you and he's got both your arms, guess what? You don't have a tiger mouth. I do.
Yeah.
Bite their neck off. I'm
Yeah.
gonna bite your neck off.
Off.
I'm going to remove your neck.
Well, shit, Abby, we've been going for almost about 3 hours now, I think. So,
That's kind of hot.
yeah, just under.
Okay,
But
shit.
yeah, I think probably a good time to end the podcast.
Yeah,
So,
we got real there for a little bit.
yeah,
that was pretty sick.
That's the way I want this shit. I want it to
Good
to
balance
be
of
genuine.
funny and genuine.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to portray some fake person like all the
Definitely.
other motherfuckers.
All you motherfuckers out there with your fake ass personas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we out here just trying to live happy and healthy, baby. One step at a time.
Yeah. And on that note, the garbage has spilt. There shall be blood. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening to the podcast today. It's been a pleasure. It's been me, your boy Jebby, and our
Slime
boy
Grime Dickey here.
Mr. Gumby himself.
Your boy's back on Twitch, by the way, so come hang out starting Monday. I'm going to be on twitch.tv/DickeyTime. So come hang out, biatch.
Yeah, I'm going to be riding my bike and trying not to be a piece of shit and working.
dude.
We got to finish up this record. Yeah, I got to upload some of this new fly to our distributor, too. Woo!
Oh yeah, that's right. Was it a new music video?
If you actually listen to this whole podcast, you would now know that we might be putting more music out very soon.
A very big, strong, sexy maybe.
Oh, you mean there's more than Forlorn?
Forlorn. It's Forlorn, remember?
It's just Forlorn 2.
Yeah. And then we can do Three-lorn, and then Forlorn will just be spelled FOUR.
Yeah, I'm so excited to put music out that we actually wrote within the same year.
Which still isn't this.
Yeah, I guess. We're trying to catch up to the year.
Right.
It's hard.
It's
might
so
be able
hard
to. Being a metal band.
Because we got the 3, and once we get those out, then we'll be in the same year.
Yeah. I just gotta make sure this shit sounds good for y'all because I'm very insecure and I need to make sure it sounds good because if it doesn't, then the boo.
Keep your eyes peeled for Rot With Me, everybody.
Yeah, coming out very soon.
Real sick new merch too.
Yeah,
it's maybe.
Please buy our things because I don't know how long I can do this Corona shit.
For real. Fucking, please help us live.
Yeah. Send me money.
The big pause. Send me money.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bitconnect! Thank you guys so much for watching the DickeyTime podcast. Greatly appreciate you joining us for this hella sick experience. Follow the links down in the description if you want to listen to this podcast on other platforms. We appreciate you guys hanging out as always. Twitch down below. Fly down below. Kamehameha. Frieza!